Hey traders, John Howell here. Big breakout coming. Look at this. See what you're looking at right now? Look at this S&P 500. Tell me this is not a perfect triangle pattern, and tell me that when this breakout happens, it's not going to be big. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, let's get straight into this update. But before I do, that trading course you're seeing right now there, guys, go get it. Go get free access to it right now. If you are losing a lot of money, the very first video goes for about 30 minutes long, and I talk to you about the biggest mistakes you're making right now and also how to overcome them. If you suck at trading right now, that's the very first thing you actually need to do. And then I walk you through and then I think the second video is about walking through my most powerful chart reading technique that's been working since the 1950s. And then you have a whole bunch of other down home country goods, my trading system. I give you everything about it. All right, so go check that out. So, the S&P 500, guys. Oh, right. Oh, it's getting so close. We are really getting close with this S&P 500. Look at this here. So you check out this here with the S&P 500, and we can see how that we have this point through here, that point through there, that point through there, this point through here, and then this point through here, right? So we have these points through here on the S&P 500. We're still in a very big downward trend, but look what's happening, right? We're starting to squeeze up through here. Very big tight triangle pattern that's happening through here. And the whole thing about this, guys, is that when it comes down to the S&P 500, once this breaks out, right? Once this really breaks out, and I've got a level through there, it'd be right, but the whole thing is this triangle pattern. This thing is going to, once this breaks out, we're going to go for a big move. If the trend continues, which is the big downward trend, then we're probably going to see more downside to come on here, which is down like that, and then we're probably going to see a bit of a waterfall, a bit of a waterworks. Now, here's a really interesting stat for you guys. If you guys don't realize, go back and study the bubble. Go back and study bubbles and crashes in history, right? Even Bitcoin did this, and other markets did this. Well, you'll be able to see this. Most of the bubbles do this thing here. And what am I talking about? Well, if you guys go back and study the bubbles in history, you'll be able to see that wherever the bubble actually started from. So here, that's a bubble, right? Yeah, it's the bubble, and we go down. Cool. So we have the bubble, okay? What tends to happen is within a few short years of the bubble bursting, we actually end up making our way down to the bubble. And a lot of times we actually flush down past the low, and then we start to make a V recovery, right? And on a level basis here, see this here? See that there? See what, I'm not saying this was a bubble, but I'm just using this as a charting example. Like this, what happens, right? We break the low and then we come back up. And so like, if we have a look at, say the 2008 crash, right? What was the 2008 crash? We had the 2008 bubble and crash, right? So look at this here. So if I go back in time, remember I said before, when the bubble crashes, we end up retracing 100% of it where the bubble started. So where did the bubble start in 08? It started here, right? And then we made our way up. So if we're looking at that, and we're looking at that as that basis through there, if we see this level through here, notice how that's where the bubble started, came up. Look at this here, slowly went down, didn't it? Slowly went down, and then we started accelerating down. Notice what happened here, right? Notice how we actually flushed below the low first, came straight back up, and then we started the bull market. The purpose of me telling you that, guys, is that this here could be the next great buying opportunity of our lifetime in the stock market. And the reason why is this, all right? Because here's what's coming. This is what I honestly believe is coming, okay? So, and if we start to line this up, it actually could be pretty powerful. I honestly believe we're about to start to see a move down to these lows through here. Okay, this last low through here, I believe we're going to come down through there. Overall, right, this may take a couple of years to unfold, okay? So, and we break to the downside, and away we go through there, right? Down, the prices are down, the prices are down, right? All that sort of stuff. So down. But when the markets go down, the prices are down, what we want, if you're looking for a really good buying opportunity, right? Once we start to if we start to get something like that, and then it comes straight back up like that, And at the exact same time, I'm not going to say it's going to do this, right? Because they're looking at a weekly chart here. So it's probably going to be more something like this, right? As we come down like that, right? Overall. It may do something like that, but we just don't know, right? But if it does something like this, but then we get to this low here, whenever that happens, and we get the big V bottom in the stock market, right? Just like here, just like the 08 period, remember, right? Once we actually get that, then when that happens, and also we start to get the good old GOV, the good old FED, Fed, start to do the ching, you know? What does Johnny Bravo call it? I'm sure you guys watch Johnny Bravo. Fed go brr, right? Brr. Brr? Brr. No idea. So, especially when the Fed does that, if we do this, and the Fed's been cutting rates, and then we do the flush down, and then we come straight back up, that could be an incredible buying opportunity, especially when they do the Fed printing. If they do the Fed printing and it happens at the exact same time as here, guys, guess what? It is all over, and that could be. And then we're probably going to get the next reflation out of the stock market, and the next reflation out of the stock market is going to be huge, right? It's going to be huge. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's just keep this really simple, right? The Fed came out and did a stimulus package here. Boom! Interest rates are zero, stimulus package, and we got that out of that stimulus package, right? Let's just call this 5 trillion, right? Call it 5 trillion. I forget exactly what they did here, right? But they did a lot. They did a bit of a bazooka, right? They did 5 trillion, right? So if we got that from 5 trillion, and we get this sort of action happening here, you know, like what I said before, you know, you do the whole thing, right? Get the V bottom happening. And then suddenly at this particular time, like down here, the Fed comes out and does $20 trillion. They just go all in to really start to move heavy. Secondly, firstly, what's that going to create? That's going to create the next wave of inflation, right? We know that's coming. Also, if this here was the representation of 5 trillion printed, what do you think this is going to do? We are going to see one of the greatest bull markets we have ever seen. That's right. After the big crash, the greatest bull market we have ever seen will come off the fact of doing one of the greatest printing money we've ever seen. But then, after 2 to 3 years of seeing incredible growth, we are going to experience the greatest depression we have ever seen. After the greatest crash comes the greatest boom, comes the greatest depression we've ever seen. Because crashes happen, the big stock market crashes happen after the market bubbles, right? And so then, yes, at the end of the decade, as that unfolds, as I said there, that's when we start to get really serious about the new world order coming into play. Which, by the way, guys, the new world order coming into play may be bad. Probably not, right? It's not going to be bad. I don't think it's going to be bad. I believe long-term is going to be amazing, right? Just look at the last 100 years of what we've been through. Look at our living standards right now in the pandemic compared to the pandemic in 1929, right? We have such amazing, incredible, I believe growth I think life is going to be amazing regardless, right? Yes, we're going to go through recessions. We're going to go through depression, so on and so forth. But for you guys that are listening to me right now, and you guys are prepared, right, for what's coming here, after this crash, comes the greatest boom, comes the greatest depression. And if you are ready for that, then I believe you too, by the time the depression actually starts at the end of this decade, you could have added an extra, not one, but maybe 3 or 4 or 5 more zeros to your account.